This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so from today, we'll start working on the work management. It may be 2 sessions. Again, it will come in 2 parts. Work management now for the disconnection and reconnection. Again, work management we're going to use for the interim metering orders or the control metering orders that will come for the device management meter reading. Now, essentially, what is work management? It is an application component in ISU. It is a industry specific application component provided only in ISU. It is not something what you find in any other SAP solution. The work management is extension of the plant maintenance. The original plant maintenance what is available, it has been enhanced to provide a special component, application component called work management. Now, work management basically integrates here with the ISU for the document processing. Basically, certain documents like notifications and orders are need to be processed in certain business scenario, and depending on the service object, we are going to create service object. For the service object, we will maintain the integration with the plant maintenance so that as and when business process is happening, the system can create notification and notification in the background corresponding to the business process. And based on the notification, we can create the service order. Now, essentially, what is the role of plant maintenance in logistics? The plant maintenance is a logistic module which will provide the facility to maintain the equipments in our system, the master record for the equipments. And for these equipments, we can create and process documents, basically what are called notifications. And for notifications, we can create what are called orders. And there are 2 types of orders. One is called the work order and other is called service order. Actually, the nature of both of them is almost similar, but the purpose is different. The notification basically a document which is created for the planning plant. As you know, in plant maintenance, our organizational unit is planning plant. We have got maintenance plant and maintenance planning plant. Maintenance plant is basically the plant in which the equipments are located. It can be in-house maintenance plant or it can be like a plant corresponding to a geographical area. But when it comes to equipment again can be of 2 types. Our own in-house equipment. In case suppose we have got a factory where the maintenance plant happens to be the factory, and in the factory we have got machines which are basically equipments. And for these equipments, whenever there is any issue, the users will create the notification. So notification is basically an intimation given to planning plant, giving them the information that certain maintenance activity is required. Maybe machine is not working, it is having some breakdown issue or performance issue, or it could be like routine maintenance. So a notification will tell the planning department the service has to be given. Okay. So if it is a in-house equipment, the machine which is working in the factory, based on the notification, they will create the work order. So work order is basically to provide the maintenance activities for the in-house equipments. Naturally, whatever expenses happen for the work order, we have to account it as an expense. It's an expense what we are incurring that will be posted to controlling area. Service order basically refers to the service given to the equipments which are located in the customer's location. That is, it's the customer equipment for which we are responsible for providing the service. So whenever the equipment is having an issue, the customers will raise the notification, intimation given to planning plant. Based on that, a service order is prepared. And if the service order is billable, based on that, they will do the billing also, so that the customer can make the payment for the service provided. So essentially, there are two types of orders: the work order and the service order. Now, usually, what happens is we can create upfront the notification or service order, or you can create first notification upfront and then refer it to prepare the service order or the work order. But what we do by using work management, whenever some process is done, we want system to create automatically a notification in the background. That's where the work management will come into the picture. And otherwise also, if you want to create manually any notification service orders, you can also do it. But the basic requirement or purpose of having the work management is we can integrate a core process in ISU for which a notification can be created in the background. Now, in this case, we will take normally two processes. One is called the temporary disconnection and then reconnection. Basically, what is disconnection? The device is working at the device location for a particular installation. Now, this particular device, the meter has to be disconnected temporarily. So when the device is disconnected, the electricity will not flow into the premise. That means basically it is acting like a switch. The meter is acting like a switch. So if you disconnect the meter, then the electricity supply will not happen to the particular premise. Under what circumstances the disconnection can happen? Now, disconnection can happen for various reasons. For instance, the particular customer is going to be on vacation for a prolonged period, let's say 6 months or more than that, or even less than that. And during their absence in the premise, they want the meter to be disconnected so that they can even avoid paying the service charges, the retention charges, and also no mishandling or anything of that sort. So the customer will call up the utility company and saying, my meter has to be disconnected effectively from so and so date. And once that happens, the meter will not be active and there's no meter reading possible for that particular meter unless it is again reconnected back. So customer will request the company for the disconnection, and when they require it back again to work, they will request for the reconnection. So disconnection and reconnection, these are two important transactions for to do in customer service. That is basically process execution. Like we prepare move-in document and move-out document, we can create what is called a disconnection document. But the disconnection document what we create can be for different reasons, like customer's requirement, or there could be some kind of technical requirement. Now the company has the users have reported some kind of inconsistencies in the meter reading or the meters not working. So they want the electricity department to check and verify and then correct the meters if required. So the company will basically take a shutdown. It is like a temporary disconnection. So they can check all the meters and then do the corrections and then put them back. So that means here the company is using some kind of technical reason to disconnect the meters and then put them back. Or it could be like any other reason, like there is some kind of fire hazard has happened and then some cables are damaged, so they have to redo the cabling. So in all such cases, the meters are disconnected, and then once everything is okay, the meters are reconnected. There is also process linking with the FICA. Like in FICA, what they do regularly dunning activity. Dunning is a basically process which is originated in FICA, where using the Dunning parameters like Dunning procedure, Dunning level, Dunning activities, in case suppose the consumer has not paid the money for certain receivable, after certain time, the Dunning will start. Basically, Dunning is to keep a track of what are the receivables which are unpaid still, and as per the aging, they are already overdue. Okay, so naturally, the company has to follow up with the consumers for the payment collection. So once the Dunning happens for the contract account, it will start sending the correspondence. So Dunning will lead to Dunning correspondence indicating the customer they have not paid the money and they have to make the payment. And this can happen over one or many levels. First level, it could be soft letter saying you are not paid the money, it is already overdue. In case if you are paid, you can ignore, otherwise you have to make the payment immediately. Okay. After some time, we find again the amount has not been still paid, then again Dunning will happen. The Dunning level increase, and that time again some activity can happen. Maybe the customer is given an intimation like a legal notice, you're not paid the money and you have to make it immediately. So like that, depending on the configuration, the Dunning levels can increase, and for each Dunning level, a Dunning activity will happen. Now, maybe in one of the Dunning level, we might have disconnection incorporated. That means in case suppose the Dunning has happened and the customer has reached that particular level, automatically system will cause the disconnection to happen. That means your amounts are overdue, and in spite of our follow-up, the amount has not been paid, so we are going to disconnect. That is what normally happens for the residential consumers. There, of course, they don't do Dunning. Once the receivables are more than 30 days, they will, I mean, it is liable to be disconnected. Okay. But for commercial consumers, we have to intimate in a Dunning letter, and then based on the levels, the appropriate action can happen. Okay. So even the Dunning can also lead to a disconnection. Okay. That means disconnection can happen because of various reasons like customer's request, technical requirements, any other reasons, or the FICA generated disconnection. That is basically because of the Dunning activity. Okay. Now, once the disconnection document is created, let's say, for example, customers requested for the disconnection. We create a disconnection document upfront. And when you create a disconnection document, it will make use of a service object, which is maintained in the work management. And based on the service object, the system will create a notification in the background. That means a intimation is given to planning plant saying that so-and-so meter has to be disconnected. Based on the service object, they will create the service order. And once the service order is confirmed, that means once the work has been completed, it is intimated to the service department, and then they will do the confirmation of disconnection. So once the disconnection is confirmed, the meter status will become automatically disconnected. That means physically it is no more active, and in the installation also we can see meter will show disconnected with the red indicator. That means it is no more active. In future, again, when the consumer wants the meter to start working again, they will send the request. Same disconnection document we will use for reconnection. That means disconnection document is created. The same document we will reprocess it for the reconnection. There is no need to create any separate document called reconnection document. Existing disconnection document can be revoked, and then it can be processed for the reconnection. Again, the notification is created for the reconnection, and then based on service order, and then based on the service order, the particular person will do the reconnection and then give confirmation to the service department that it has been done. The reconnection has been done. Based on that, they will maintain the confirmation in the system, in the document, and the meter will start again working. I mean, physically working in the system also, it will become activated. So this is a process where Actually, process is starting from the customer service. That is basically the process execution, but then it branches out to plant maintenance using the work management. That means the ISU is integrated with the plant maintenance using the work management. Otherwise, if you're not using work management, then we have to create manually the disconnection notification, and based on that, a service order can be created. That can happen anyway, but in this case, we are using work management. Also, there are some processes related to the meter reading, like control meter reading, interim meter reading. So we create a meter reading order, but the moment you create a meter reading order, it will automatically create in the background a notification. And based on notification, service order created, and based on a service order, the meter reading will happen. Now, usually this will happen in specific scenario like special meter reading, like control meter reading, interim meter reading order. Now, in these cases, usually meter reading activity is done by meter reading personnel. They have their own staff to do the meter reading, for which you don't require the notification. It's not an activity done by the plant maintenance department. There is a separate department itself which will take care of the regular meter readings, scheduled meter reading. So based on the MR unit, they will schedule the meter reading order created, and based on that, meter reading will happen physically at the site. But there are some requirements like control meter reading order or interim meter reading order where we cannot involve the meter reading personnel, regular staff. This has to be done by the service department. In such cases, the notification is created, and based on that, service order and then meter reading will happen. Okay. So we will see that part also, how we can use the work management for integrating with the plant maintenance for the notification. So basically work management is a specialized, or you can say is an industry specific application component of the plant maintenance provided only in ISU. You don't find work management in any other SAP solution. Now, in order to implement work management in our system, we have to do certain configurations. First, we have to maintain certain configurations for the controlling area, where we have to maintain cost center, work center. And then in the postal regional structure, you have to maintain a regional grouping, regional structure grouping, regional structure grouping, and regional structure area, regional structure area, regional structure grouping, and regional structure area. Based on the regional structure area, automatic planning plant determination can happen. And the third thing will be customization in the customer service, which is basically, yeah, first we will complete the work management settings. And work management settings, once they are ready, we will customize the process execution, customer service process execution for the disconnection and reconnection. So the entire set of configuration can be divided into these four separate applications, and they are all integrated together. Okay. Now, controlling area is basically the organization unit what you're using in the enterprise structure. Under the controlling area, we will do the cost accounting. Cost accounting means, like usually in FI, we do the general posting for the financial accounting, where the revenue, expenses, these are all posted. And based on that, balance sheet and profit and loss account will be posted. That is a regular activity. FI is a regular activity, but the controlling will come into picture wherever you want to capture the costs which are happening. That means when you post to financial accounting, parallelly a document can be posted in controlling area, posting to cost elements. Cost elements are nothing but GL accounts managed as cost elements. So previously also we have used the cost center when we wanted the inventory management for the devices. As we saw in the inventory management, Like suppose if you create a device using the inventory management during the stock, entry, then the status will become uh, ESTO, that is a warehouse stock. To convert the warehouse stock into available, we prepare the what you call goods issue document. And when the goods issue document is created, a posting will happen into controlling area. Particular cost center is posted, the expense regarding the equipments what we are using. Okay. So basically, the controlling area is one which is going to basically manage the cost posting using the cost centers. And under the cost center posting, when you do, certain GL accounts are posted, which are managed as cost elements. In this case also, disconnection, reconnection, interim metering order, control metering order, these are all expenses what we have to incur. Okay. So for that purpose, we are having what you call the cost center. So cost center is defined under the controlling area. Now, because we are going to use plant maintenance where certain activities have to be done, what kind of activity has to be done? For that purpose, we have to maintain the work center. So work center is basically is a kind of a organizational unit which will come into the picture for providing the operation. The work center could be a machine which is providing the production. Work center could be a combination of people, labor, and the machine, or it could be pure labor. Okay. So work center is basically involving the part of the organization which is involved in the activity, and then for the particular cost center we can have the work centers created. So whenever the particular activity will happen, the particular work center will come into picture and they will carry out the activity, and based on that the cost can be posted to the cost center. Here of course we are not doing the costing because costing is a very big exercise in controlling. I mean, it requires altogether a separate consultant to do the job. That will happen in the actual project. But here, in order to have the process running, we have to have the cost centers and the work centers created. Okay. So controlling area you already created, and under the controlling area we already maintained the cost center hierarchy. Whenever you want to create a cost center, the cost center hierarchy comes into picture. Under one controlling area, we can have one or many cost center hierarchies, and under the hierarchy we maintain the cost centers. So first we will go to our controlling area and then define one new cost center. So I'm going to controlling. In controlling area, we already maintained cost center hierarchy. Our controlling area is 6,000. Here we have maintained a cost center hierarchy 6,000. This we already maintained. Now we will go to the cost center accounting. Go to master data, cost center, create the cost center, create. Controlling area is 6,000. We can also refer to existing cost center we have got for the controlling area. Let us say we are creating cost center as 6002, starting from, let us say, 0101 2019. Just one. So now we'll continue master data. Now here you can say name is PM cost center, plant maintenance cost center for the disconnection and reconnection. All the data is already available. Control, templates, address, communication, history, and then save. So we have created one new cost center, which is basically 6002. Now using this cost center, we will maintain one work center. So for the work center, we'll go to easy access, select the general SAP menu, S000, go to logistics, and then we will select here production. Under that, we will select the master data and then select the work center. Work center create CR01. Our plant is 6001 and work center we will say WC 6001. So WC 6001 and the work center category we can select it as labor. Basically, mostly it is labor only because the people will have to go to the particular device and then do the disconnection. But if it is used in the production, then it will be like a machine. Work center category could be machine, or sometimes it could be combination of labor and the machines. So here I'm taking work center category 003 and then basic data. Person responsible, we can select some value here, 001. Usage, 0009. All the task type, all the task list type. The list type and everything will be maintained in plant maintenance. Basically, the list type will contain what are the activities to be performed. So we can say all that kind of list type. Otherwise, you can say it is only routings, networks, production rate planning. I mean, this is all pure PM activity. Routings are used in production. The routing will contain the recipe, like if you have to produce some object manufacture, what are the processes we have to do? So those are, maintained in the routings. But here you can select all the task types, I mean, in general, and then standard value key. You can say no standard values, and then go to the description. You say work center for a disconnection and reconnection. Now we will go to costing and then here enter the cost center what we have created. It is 6002 and then starting date is 01/01/2019 and then save. So you have created one work center and then you created the cost center before that. Now we will go to our next activity, that is the postal regional structure grouping. So now I'll go to ISU, select SAP ISU, and then go to basic functions, regional structure, postal regional structure, and then define regional structure grouping. Basically, what is regional structure grouping? Regional structure grouping is grouping of the objects from the plant maintenance perspective. Now, we can say we are supposed to look after certain service related activities in the service area, and the service area is also a geographical area. We can say we have to provide service in a particular city, like a city like Hyderabad or any other city. So we can say the city is divided into 8 regional structure groupings. like north, south, east, west, northeast, southwest, like that. That's one way. Or certain streets and areas in the city can be grouped under one particular regional structure grouping. Let's say your city has got various, you know, city areas, and those are grouped into one regional structure grouping, which will contain certain connection objects or postal codes, and you are arranging all of that into one particular regional structure grouping. So there is no fixed criteria by which you can say this is how only regional structure grouping has to be defined. It is left to the organization decision how they want to maintain. Okay, that means the n number of regional structure groupings can be created in the system. Basically, idea is that under that regional structure grouping, various connection objects will come into picture. And for the connection object, you will have the device location and the equipments. Okay. Let's say if you say our regional structure grouping is northern part of the city or eastern part of the city. Okay. So you define the regional structure grouping and maintain that in the connection object. And the same regional structure grouping will maintain in n number of connection objects. That means all those connection objects will belong to same regional structure grouping. That means we have divided the entire city into 8 regional structure grouping, and all the connection objects in the particular locality are assigned to one regional structure grouping. Then once we define the regional structure grouping, we define a regional structure area. This regional structure area is defined using a role which is provided by the SAP. Okay, these are predefined roles which you have to use. That means these regional structure groupings have to be managed for certain activity in the plant maintenance, and depending on that, a regional structure area is created using a role. So here there are two roles given by SAP. One is called the permit processing, and another is workman area. Okay, ISU workman. But in our case, when we want to create a regional structure area, we must use the role provided for the ISU workman. Only if you maintain ISU workman, we can use it for the disconnection, reconnection, intermediate order. Okay. Permit processing is used for altogether different activity where the particular connection object management has requested the utility company, like a new building has come and they want electricity department to visit it, assess the particular building, understand the requirements of the power, and then sanction, permit the sanctioning of a particular kilowatt supply to the particular building. That's a permit processing. So for that also a regional structure area is available. Okay. So first we'll go to regional structure grouping. We'll define one example of a regional structure grouping saying 6000 is north, 6001 south, like that we can define, and then save it. Now we will define a regional structure area. Go to regional structure area. Under one regional structure area, there can be one or many regional structure grouping. That means you have to define a regional structure area and then assign the regional structure grouping to regional structure area. So before defining the regional structure area for the roles, we have to find out what is the role we have to use. So if you go to the help file, here they are given the two roles. Plant determination in the context of order and notification creation. That means we want planning plant determination in the context of service order or the service notification creation. This uses the standard SAP role as 205003. That is ISU workman. So let us copy this. This is the role we have to use. Copy. And then go to define the region structure area. So let us select the new entry. This is the role. We will say 6000 is our region structure area, and then north. We'll maintain it as not and then save it. So create the region structure area, assign the role, and then maintain the text. Now we have to allocate the region structure grouping to regional structure area. Select here, go to new entry, enter the role. Regional structure grouping is 6000 and regional structure area is 6000 and then save it. Now regional structure group will go and sit in the connection object. Like we are using some installations already available in our system, which are done for the premises, which are created in a particular connection object. So to that connection object, we are going to maintain regional structure grouping. Based on the regional structure grouping, system will find out what is the regional structure area. And for the regional structure area, an automatic planning plant determination can happen. When you do the disconnection, which planning plant has to be given the notification. So that determination will happen using the regional structure area. So we are going to set up the automatic plant determination in the work management. So for that purpose, the regional structure area has been defined here. Now save it, come back. Now we will go to the next activity, that is work management. In the work management, we have to maintain master data. This master data is basically having something called service object. The service object will basically the one what will be used for the entire steps of calculation. The service object is process definition. Okay, service object could be for disconnection, service object for reconnection, service object for interior metering order or special control metering order. So service object is basically capturing certain PM data. So this configuration what we're doing usually may be done by the plant maintenance person, the consultant, or a ISU consultant who has some exposure to plant maintenance, or they have to define all this data, because ultimately a lot of work will happen in the plant maintenance. The work management backward integration is happening actually in the PM module. Okay, so there will be a specific PM consultant who will take care of it. But in our case, we are going to use some of the standard definition of the PM, where already SAP has provided certain configurations. So we'll be using it. But otherwise, for the specific business, a detailed configuration can be done for the notification type and then task type, service order types. All that can be done by the plant maintenance consultant. So we are integrating certain information of the PM in the service object. So we will go to define the service object, select the new entry. Our planning plant is, let us say, 6001. We are having planning plant 6001. Service object ID, we can maintain free search term. Okay, that means the service object ultimately when it is used, we can use it for various objects. Okay, otherwise specifically it is for a service material or for functional location or equipment or a serial number. But here you are making it as a free search term. Okay, select the free search term and then continue. Now here you are giving the identification number for the service object. The service object you are maintaining here like a text actually, but it is the ID, service object ID. So I will use DISC 6000. I'll make it as DISC 6001, something like that, so that we know it is our disconnection object, DISC 6001. And then here we will maintain the order type SM01. These order types are defined in the PM module. Okay, so we have got various order types like service order with revenue, repair service. Okay, so SM01 is what we are going to use, and maintain activity type. What is the activity type? It can be inspection, preventive maintenance, repair. We can, all these are defined in the plant maintenance. So we can select one of them, repair. And what is the main work center? Our work center is defined for the plant 6001. and that is WC6001. This is the work center, and then continue. So we have defined one service object for the planning plant, service object ID, service object identification number, order type, activity type, and the work center. Now save it. The next activity is define the set level for the service object. Set level is basically indicating what kind of activity is supposed to happen. Is it like a new service connection or a consulting or service? Okay. So in our case, it should be service. So we can use 0003. Now you have to allocate service object to the set level along with the division. Okay. We have already defined the service object. Set level is already there. We know what is our division. We will make the combination. So go to new entry, ID 00, and service object is 6000 DISE. DISE 6001. This is a service object. Division is 16 and set level is service, that is 3003, and then save it. Now we go to the processing. Actually, SAP has divided processing into two steps, orders and notification. Now, technically speaking, when you create a disconnection, based on the disconnection document, we can say a service order should be created directly, okay? But it does not happen. Actually, based on the disconnection document, first a notification is created. And based on the notification, the service order has to be created. So under processing, we have to select the notification. Under notification, we have to maintain this complete set of configuration. Okay. Now define the notification code. Okay. Notification code is the starting point. Like when you customize the disconnection document, in the customization, we can say what is our notification code. Okay. Notification code means based on the notification code, a notification can be created and the plant determination can happen. And also we are going to maintain schema and profile. So notification code is the starting point. Okay. Based on notification code, rest of the parameters will come into picture. Okay. So define the notification code. SAP has given some notification codes already in the system, but since we have used one of them already in some other company where we have done the configuration, so we cannot reuse it because for every notification code, we are going to maintain certain set of configurations. So we cannot use the same notification code again and again. Okay. So we have to create our own notification code. Actually, this notification code is not having any control data. It's not having any customization data. It is just an object. It is just having an ID and it is not coded actually. There's no programming done. So we are free to create our own notification code. Okay. Otherwise, DC00 is what SAP had given as the disconnection for the notification code. Okay. Disconnection notification code. So we can select DC00 and then copy and then make it as disconnection 600, something like that. We can maintain only 4. So we will say disconnection notification code. Disconnection notification code. And then enter. Choose the key from the allowed space. Now, either you can use any alphabets like ABCD here, but actually you must use G category, G or Y. Okay. But here it doesn't matter. But in the actual project, you already usually define all the objects with G or Y so that your customizations are protected during the upgradation. Okay. But it doesn't matter. We'll enter D600 and then save it. This is our notification code. Now comes the activity schema. Okay. What is the purpose of activity schema? We will see. This activity schema information will flow into notification document. In this IMG activity, you define the activity schema. An activity schema describes a flow of activities. Okay, what activities can be performed if you do disconnection, reconnection. This activity type or the activity definition is done in the plant maintenance. Usually they maintain a catalog of activities. Based on the catalog, certain activity types are defined. SAP has already given the catalog for the disconnection, reconnection, interior metering order, control metering order, and they contain the information of the activity. The activities are written into the notification. That means based on the schema, we maintain the catalog of the activity. These activities what are maintained in the schema will be copied into notification document. The activity schema corresponds to general maintenance task list for the orders. Okay. So under the catalog, we'll have the task list. What kind of activity has to be done? That information is involved in the definition of the what you call schema. So we will define one schema and then maintain the particular catalog of activities. So go to define activity schema. We'll say new entry D600 is the schema 1. Now catalog type for the activities. So here we have got some catalog code group. Okay. So here you can see ISU 650 SO KT. This is the catalog and the activity type. It is already defined in PM module. We are assigning it. So activity schema contains the particular task type maintained in the catalog ISU 650 S0. Okay. This is already predefined, but all this can be defined by the PM consultant if required for the specific requirement. But otherwise, SAP has already given one catalog and the code we are assigning here. Now save it. Then you have to define a profile. Define notification profile. So what is a profile? Profile will contain certain information of the PM, and also it will have the schema what you have created. So in this IMG activity, you define the notification profiles, define the parameters that are automatically transferred into notification. Okay. So again, this data what you maintain will have certain information which will be copied into notification document what we are creating. So what is the notification type, priority, work center, plant where the main work center is located, okay, maintenance activity type, schema, all this information you're going to maintain in the our profile what we want to create. Okay, so let's go to define one schema, select here profile, select the new entry. Planning plant is going to be 6001. Notification profile also we'll call it as D600. Notification type is ES3. Notification types are defined in plant maintenance like S1, S2, S3. So many notification types are there. So S1 is problem notification, activity report, service request. We are using it as service request. Priority, you can say high, very high, low. All this information again will be entered when you create the service order. And our main work center. Our main work center is already available for the plant WC6001. Activity type, maintenance activity type, inspection, preventive maintenance, repair, all this are defined in PM module. You can define one of them. So let us say 0003 and activity schema. Our activity schema is D600. Enter and then save it. We have created the schema, we have created the profile. Allocate the profile to notification code. That means when you create a disconnection document, in the disconnection document, you will get the notification code. Based on the code, it will find out the profile, and based on the profile, it will find out the schema, and then schema will contain the information of the activity, which has to be done through the notification. So allocate notification profile to notification codes.
select the new entry. Our notification code is D600 disconnection, and the notification profile is D600, and then save it. Now we have another activity which is optional. If you want to do it, you can do it. Otherwise, you have to enter the planning plant manually. Okay. Sometimes they prefer to enter the planning plant in the disconnection document, or sometimes we can also set up the automatic plant determination. For the automatic plant determination, we will use the regional structure area. So define the plant determination for the notifications. Select the new entry. Notification profile is D600. Regional structure area, we have defined it as 6000 north, and planning plant is 6001, and then save. Now, based on this, we will have the plant determination. That means if suppose we maintained in the service object, if you maintain the connection object, the regional structure grouping as 6000, based on that regional structure area will be 6000. For the particular notification profile, it will automatically find out the planning plant as 6001. That means your notification is created on the particular maintenance planning plant, that is 6001. So that information we have given here. Now we will go to the process execution and then maintain the disconnection related information. Go to process execution, disconnection, reconnection, define the number ranges for the disconnection documents. Now, there's no separate configuration for the reconnection document. That means we create a disconnection document and we process the same document for the reconnection. So there's no separate number range for the reconnection. In fact, you don't create any reconnection document. Same disconnection document we will reprocess. But every disconnection document is unique, so we must have the number range defined. So here already some number range is available. Up to 70 it has used. Now go to the processing variant. Define the processing variant for the disconnection document. These variants are predefined in the system. Okay, so depending on the reason why disconnection has to happen, these variants will come into picture. Okay, now broadly speaking, whatever variant we have here, it is assigned to one of the system defined reason. System defined reason, like here we are going to use customer request. That means customer is requesting for the disconnection. Okay, or it could be technical disconnection. That means we will create a disconnection document for some technical reasons, like meters have to be checked, some cables have to be redone. Okay, or disconnection dunning level has been reached. Okay, that means if you have configured in the FICA all the dunning activities, all the dunning configurations, in one of the dunning activity, we will say if that particular level has reached, automatically disconnection should happen. So based on that, the disconnection will happen in the background. We don't have to create the disconnection document. It will happen automatically in the background. But here we are interested in the customer request. So select it and then see the details. Now disconnection order code and then reconnection order code, disconnection notification code and reconnection notification code. These are maintained here. Now here the order code for the order may not be required because we are not expecting a service order to be created automatically. First, the notification is created, and based on notification, we are going to create the service order. So that is the reason we have to activate service notification. Okay. Now, what is the notification code for the disconnection? It is D600. Okay. Reconnection code we are going to configure, just like how we have done the disconnection process. After doing the disconnection, we will come back and then repeat the set of configuration for the reconnection. So right now we given D600 and then enter and then save it and then come back. So when we use the disconnection document, automatically system will propose the notification code. Based on notification code, the entire work management configuration will come into the effect. And also based on the notification code, the regional structure area automatic planning plan determination will happen. Okay. So this is the process. Now save it. Now we will see how to do disconnection. First we'll do disconnection, and then after we have done the disconnection, we will configure for the reconnection. Now we will take one of the existing installation, the contract where already device is working, and for that meter we will go for the disconnection. So let me go to ES31, find out the installation defined for the division 60. So 223, 238. Preferably we'll take where there is a contract. Here the contract is available, and we have got a standard device. Now, if you see the standard device, what we are having right now, 899, it is showing the meter device is currently not blocked. Okay, that means it is working. It is not blocked, and device changes. This is the place where you can see what are the changes happened to device installed, replaced. Okay, so this is already maintained here. Now this is the serial number. Okay, 899, and this is the contract. So we'll note down the contract as 236. Our contract is 236 because contract is very specific. Because if you take connection object, sometimes what happens in the technical disconnection, we want to use particular functional location, connection object and functional location to do disconnection. That means all the meters we want to disconnect. Okay. But in this case, for a particular customer where there's the installation and the contract, for that contract installation will be there and device will be there. So you can go for the disconnection. So in this particular case, we can say our contract is 236. And here on the top, you can see in the green color, it is showing disconnection status. Installation is not disconnected. That means it is an active installation where the meter is working. Okay. We have done some building also, I think. Building also is there. Okay, no problem. So contract is 236. Now premise is 180. So double click premise. Connection object is 89. Connection object is 89. So we will copy this and then go to connection object. Select the select the technical objects and then go to connection object, change mode, enter the connection object. Here we'll maintain the regional structure grouping. So mobile phone some number. Now here you can see regional structure grouping is there. Previously we maintained some regional structure grouping to compute the data, but now we have got our own regional structure grouping. Now this is important because based on this only regional structure area will come, and for regional structure area automatic planning plan determination will happen. Okay. So in our case it is 6001. Okay. Select it and then save it. So we have maintained the particular regional structure grouping in 89. Now we will go to customer service, process execution, disconnection, reconnection, create the disconnection document. This is disconnection document number, which will come automatically. Customer's request. What we're doing is for the variant customer's request. Select the contract. The reference contract, what we have here is 236. Enter 236. So basically, we are going to create a disconnection document for the customer's request, and processing variant is CUST, utility contract. The location is all identified. Now first we have to save it. First you have to save it. disconnection document 71 has been created. Then go to change mode 71. And then here we are going to select the generate the disconnection order. Okay, generate the disconnection order. Actually, what it means, because of this connection document, we want system to create one notification automatically in the background. Actually, disconnection order could mean a notification or an order, but the service order cannot be created directly. It has to be created a notification. Okay. So once we generate the disconnection order, it will find out first what is the notification code and what is the planning plant. So here we will select generate the disconnection order. Now here we can see the notification code has come, but the PM plant area has not been. Here you can see the planning plant has not been determined. So we have to check why it is not coming. We'll find out. So it is saying no regional structure area could be found for the role and the regional structure group we have specified. Okay. Probably I think we have used a wrong role. We must have used for the ISU workman. Maybe I have used the permit processing. Probably that's the reason. So it says no regional structure area could be found for the role. Okay. So first what we'll do, we'll not do anything here. Come out. Go back to our configurations and then check. Go to utilities and then go to basic functions, regional structure, postal regional structure area. Define regional structure area for the roles. So I used the wrong role actually. You can see here the role is 20503 for the ISC workman, but what we have used is okay, it is correct only 205033. This is the role actually, ISC workman, because other one is for the permit processing. So go to define regional structure area for the roles. So here you defined 205033 6000 not, this is correct only, and then allocate regional structure grouping. So 205033 6000 and regional structure area 6000. Okay, and then go to plant maintenance integration with the work management. So go to the work management, master data, allocate service object to, this is done. Processing, go to notifications, define the plant termination. So D600 regional structure area 6000, planning plant is 6001. So this is okay. And in the particular connection object, technical master data connection object 89, we already maintained the regional structure grouping, correct. Okay, regional structure grouping, I think we have to maintain 6000 because our configurations are done for 6000. So that's where the mistake. This is what we have to use and then save. Now we will go to our customer service, change, and then create a disconnection order. Generate a disconnection order. Now you can see the notification code has come and the plant maintenance notification also has remained. That's the planning plant for which notification has to be created as 6001. Okay. Now, if in case suppose they are not customized regional structure grouping, regional structure area, we can manually also enter. Okay. Some companies they do manual entry. Now we will save it. When you save it, it will create the notification in the background. So save it. So here we can see a notification has been created. This is the notification document number. This is a notification, what it has created. After the notification is done, we have to create a service order, and then service order has to be confirmed. Then again come back to disconnection document, enter the status for the disconnection, and then in the system, in the installation, disconnection status will be updated. Okay. So we'll take it forward in the next session, where we will do service order processing and disconnection, then configure for the reconnection, and then see how we can put back the meter into active status. Okay. So you're almost done. Some process is yet to do. Next session we will do, and then we will configure for the reconnection as well. Okay. And close for today. Next session. Is it okay?
Yes, sir.